you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. I know.
It's her first time on stage,
It
folks.
is. Okay. Okay, Ralph. So take us back to 1999. Tell us how the theater group came to life.
Way back when, now 26 years ago, we actually started as a theater reading group. We'd take a script and we would actually just read the script to each other. Eventually, we did that in people's homes. And then from that point, we decided we enjoyed it enough. We took it over to Pinckney Hall to one of the small rooms and made it available to anybody who wanted to watch us do a play, read a play. That quickly evolved over the next 2 or 3 years into doing full productions, but in a very basic format. As Sun City started to grow and more people seemed to enjoy the performing arts, we built and expanded those productions in Pinckney Hall to crowds of as many as 500 people at a time, where the individual chairs had to be reset every evening because other clubs would be using Pinckney Hall. Our productions were getting bigger and bigger. We wound up taking ourselves off campus at the Bluffton High School, which sort of takes us to the absolute beginnings of the concept of Magnolia Hall. Our developer ran into the same significant problems selling homes in 2007 and 8 as every other real estate developer. And the cost of a building at about $7 million seemed rather insignificant by comparison. At some point, they actually decided to take a chance. And it wasn't until after 2010 that we actually were able to go inside and see what Pulte was delivering to the Sun City community. We wound up with what turns out to be a state-of-the-art stage, a sound booth, lighting booth, lights, and a 44-foot across Presidium, and a stage that could handle virtually any production. It's been a wonderful 15-year run here. We've got some very memorable pieces of theater to look back on, and we can only do that because the community within Sun City is extremely supportive of the performing arts groups, whether it's the dance groups, the chorus and singing groups. It also includes the synchronized swimmers, but as you can imagine, they don't perform on the stage at Mag Hall. They're over at the Purysburg pool.
So tell us about the collaboration with the other clubs. How does that work when you're putting on a production here?
We're about to start work on the first show for 2026. It's going to be a great musical called 9 to 5. This is a musical presentation that involves singing and dancing as well as acting. And we have the blessings of being able to go to the chorus. There are tap dances that are called for in the show, as well as theatrical dancing. So we speak to people in those clubs regularly, and they come out and audition for our roles. One of the bylines is that this is an active adult community. What we are learning is that active adults aren't people who just go and buy tickets, but also, and much more importantly, people who participate in presenting that kind of entertainment to the community itself. In the case of the performing arts, the people who really want to be in sports and actively engaged in them, it's not just for spectators. Active adult involvement means coming out, volunteering, and being a part of these shows. I just ramble.
You're trained for this. So much goes on beyond the stage. Can you tell us what goes into putting on a production?
Easiest question and toughest answer to give you. To put on a production here in Sun City truly starts more than a year before the production. We have a group of dedicated individuals that are actors, directors, producers that sit as members of what we call a play reading and recommendation committee. And they put their recommendations in front of the board of directors, usually by May. The board then approves the slate of productions for the following year. The director of productions goes to Lifestyle and sets up the entire rehearsal schedule for the following year. We then start about 5 months before a show by putting together what we think is a reasonable design for a set. Once we get that set design together, we will have auditions for the roles that make that show come to life. People are then given scripts after they've been selected for a particular show, and rehearsals generally start about 2 months prior to a show. It is a very deep commitment of 4 to 5 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a day, that actors will work with the director in terms of getting ready for the show. We have a set crafting and construction crew that build out the sets, a set design group that paints the sets and gets the decorations for what's on those sets together. People who handle the props, they go out and they find these props and have them ready so that people can rehearse with them. We have costumers and we have dressers. We have a stage crew that moves set pieces around. We have lighting, sound, sound effects, microphones, props. If I've forgotten anybody, I apologize.
There's a lot.
Between our ticket sellers, our marketers, our ushers, and all the people I've just mentioned in those different departments, we could easily have 200 people making a show come to fruition. We currently have about 1,000 members of the theater club, and I would say there are roughly 200 people that are actively engaged in each production. But that's basically what's entailed in putting a show up on stage. Then about 2 weeks before the show, Lifestyles gives us the opportunity to bring the set into the stage, and our actors get a chance to work with that. Our music director, if it's a musical, will organize his band, and it all comes together about a week and a half before the show. And I will tell you from experience, the shock of getting onto the stage with a set, in costume, with music playing, that last week and a half is a lot of scrambling and a lot of self-searching to get everything to come together. And that is the responsibility of the director. At that point, the producer gets a chance to sit back and just appreciate the work of his 11 teams of production people and the work of the actors on the stage.
Wow, so it really sounds like it takes a village.
The good part is there is a wonderful village from which to draw. People in Sun City have shown themselves over the years to be great volunteers and support activities that are important to them. We've been able to live for the last 25 years as a chartered club and bring live entertainment theater to the residents of Sun City. We're pretty proud of where we've come from and what we've become.
So, what do you think has kept the club going strong for over 20 years now?
I think that there's a basic commitment to the mission statement, which is really to involve as many people, as many residents of Sun City in the business of performing arts. I think what really holds it together is the competence of a board of directors and the strength of the committees they've put together. I was blessed with being a member of the board for over 15 years myself. I'm no longer active in that capacity. I've become the aged historian for the group. Um, we see that the mission is to put on good live entertainment.
Do you have a favorite memory or production that you are extremely proud of or that still gives you chills to this day?
Yeah, the day we put on My Fair Lady at the high school before Magnolia Hall was built, with a 32-foot revolving stage that we built, a venue we were not familiar with, brought in 2,600 people from not only Sun City, but the Bluffton community. That was really a milestone for us.
So, if someone's watching this and they say they would like to be a part of the Sun City Theater Club, what would you say to them and how they can get involved?
Anybody and everybody would be welcome. If you're really interested, contact our membership chair, let them know your interest. They'll communicate it with producers and department heads, and we'll get you involved.
Well, thank you so much, Ralph. This has been a real treat. I am so excited for everyone to come out to see your next production, 9 to 5 in the spring. And if y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the board of directors for the Sun City Theater Club.
I'm not telling
I
jokes.
would be the worst person.